YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back. Heading into college football week 4, got my picks against the spread for some of the top games heading into this week. All my best bets and some score predictions for NFL and college football on our Patreon. There will be a link in the description for that. It's also on your screen. Download the BetQL app from the App Store. That'll make sure you take the best bets each and every single week. Very accurate. They got who they think you should take, and they have who the professionals are taking as well. So check it out. Check out our Twitter. That's how you join our college football picks league as well as our NFL picks league. A lot going on the Twitter as well. And here is the leaderboard right now. Is it 21-9 for Mike Latt? Is that? That's impressive. 21-9 on against the spread picks. Some other very impressive numbers as well. It's impressive stuff there. So if you want to join this, see how you stack up each week, not too late, through our Twitter. It's how you join the College Football Picks League, NFL Picks League. A lot going on the Twitter, a lot of constant football talk and updates on the NFL. This week's picks, we see above me the Patreon. More info on that, patreon.com/thegoathouse. Notre Dame, Wisconsin, big game. They were supposed to play last year in Lambeau. Didn't happen, obviously, because COVID. This year, playing in Soldier Field there. So it should be definitely an interesting game here. Was it 12 versus 18? I was surprised by the line. I was surprised that Wisconsin's favored by 5.5. I thought it'd be pretty close to even. If I would have, guessed, I would have figured Notre Dame was favored in that game. So maybe you're kind of knowing where I'm going towards here. I'm going to go Notre Dame plus 5.5. Again, I'm surprised they're getting that many points. It's a toss-up game. It's Jack Cohen versus Graham Mertz. Obviously, there was two Wisconsin quarterbacks. Obviously, Cohen playing for Notre Dame. He's kind of been hit or miss. He's pretty damn accurate. And he looks like a damn good quarterback when he has time. Surprisingly, Notre Dame's offensive line, which is usually top tier, has actually struggled. There's been some injuries. So when he's under pressure, he's not looked super good. But when he got the clean pocket, he's been looking good. So it's really going to depend on the Wisconsin pass rush if they show up here. Mertz is going to have to take care of the ball. It's going to be extremely, extremely low scoring. Notre Dame's defense has been questionable until last week. They stepped up against another fellow Big Ten team there in Purdue. So it would be interesting to see where they're at here. Again, I think very low scoring. I would actually pick Notre Dame to win the game. Again, I'm surprised they're underdogs in this game. Just Cohen versus Mertz. That's the storyline there. Texas Tech and Texas. Texas was supposed to be back, and then they lost to Arkansas pretty bad. Texas Tech 3-0, so that's interesting. But you still, pretty good game. Both teams definitely can put up a fight against almost anybody in the Big 12 there. I think it's too many points. I'm going to take Texas Tech. I'm picking Texas to win the game. 9.5 is just too many points to me, but should be right around there, but we'll see. What I think Texas will try to do is control the game on the ground, and that may not allow Texas Tech, Tyler Shuck, to kind of get in their groove and get going. That could be a reason Texas could just blow them out possibly. Iowa State and Baylor. Iowa State's been a little disappointing this year, mainly because the one loss, but they were even close with Northern Iowa week 1. Baylor starting to get going. 6.5 is lower than I expected. I think Iowa State wins by about 10, 13, around that range. I'm going to go Iowa State there. A&M and Arkansas. Arkansas a couple weeks ago had that big win over Texas. Arkansas looking pretty good. They're looking pretty damn good. Well-coached team now. They got talent, especially compared to the last several years. A&M, number 7, Haynes King is obviously going to miss some time here. We knew that going into last week. So this becomes a very interesting game, actually. 7 versus 16. I like Arkansas plus 5.5. I think they can win the game here. Mainly because A&M's down to their next quarterback. But they should be pretty effective running the ball. They're going to try to control the game by running the clock. We'll see. Arkansas's playing some pretty good football though, so Texas A&M better watch out for them. Rutgers and Michigan. Speaking of pretty good football, both these teams, Rutgers looking pretty good. Michigan's looking like they're back. Are they actually? We'll find out. But they're looking pretty damn good. But Rutgers is kind of sneaky. I'm definitely taking Michigan to win the game. But to me, 18.5 points is so many. I'm surprised it's that many. They could cover. Michigan could win by about 20 points. I could see a scenario there, but I don't know. That's too many points there for me. I think I'm taking a lot of underdogs this week. Texas San Antonio versus Memphis. Memphis 3-0, and both teams 3-0. They both looking pretty good. Texas San Antonio with a statement win over Illinois, if you want to call it that. but it's a Big Ten team, and it was a couple weeks ago. Memphis with a statement win over Mississippi State. So Memphis looking really good. It's a totally different type of matchup than playing Mississippi State, I should say here. Texas San Antonio is going to run the crap out of the ball. Another one of those teams that are going to try to control the game. So this could be a trap game for Memphis, given why the line is pretty close. I'll take Texas San Antonio. If they lose, I think it'll be a maximum of 3 points, which we're cutting it close there at 3.5. I think they can win the game with that running game there. So I'll take them. UCLA and Stanford. Stanford, they were extremely disappointing week 1 against Kansas State. Could not move the ball. So sloppy on offense. And all of a sudden, something changed there. They beat up USC, which was a surprise. Vanderbilt, it's not the best team, SEC team there, but they put up a good amount of points against them. It's a well-coached defensive side. We thought it would be. That is Vanderbilt. So Stanford's been impressive. UCLA was super impressive, and they lost to Fresno State last week. Fresno State is actually good. They're actually very good. We saw that against Oregon as well. I'm going to take Stanford's getting better. I'm going to take UCLA, though. Then they win by a touchdown or so. I like the Bruins. It should be a really good game, though. Kansas State versus Oklahoma State. Skylar Thompson out. Didn't really matter against a tough Nevada team. Kansas State gave it to them. They're playing really good defense. We just talked about them. They played incredible defense against Stanford. Oklahoma State's been winning, but, yeah, it's been a little pretty tighter than expected. I'm going to take Kansas State getting the points. They'll probably miss Thompson in a game like this where Oklahoma State could barely escape with the win. Kansas State's playing pretty good football. West Virginia's playing pretty good football. They're getting 16.5 points against Oklahoma. Oklahoma, it's kind of like last year, except they're winning, because they lost a couple times early last year. But I said that what I mean by that is that they're not the best that they can be right now. They could be a lot better, and I think they will be a lot better as the season goes on, a little closer to the end of the season. But right now, they're allowing teams to stay close, so it's tough to go against a pretty good football team in West Virginia, getting a whopping 16.5 points. Oregon State and USC is another tough one. USC bounced back last week. It's a tough one. I still don't really know Oregon State's identity. They played Purdue somewhat close week 1. It was pretty close most of the game. Purdue pulled away in the fourth quarter, which is, it's you don't really have a firm identity in Oregon State. At least I don't right here. 12.5 is a good amount of points for Oregon State. I'd say they probably lose around 10. Pretty close. We'll learn a lot about both these teams in this game. 12.5 is a lot of points, so I'm feeling Oregon State there getting those points. I like a lot of underdogs. We got UCLA's a favorite. I took them. That's a toss-up. Iowa State's a favorite. That's it. A lot of these underdogs. This year's been weird, though. College football is always weird, but you think there's like a sure thing game, and it's just not it, so it's been a weird season. I mean, you usually can't base things off what the team did in the previous weeks, like who they beat. You can compare who they beat, how much they beat them by, who this team beat. You can't really do that most of the time anyways, but it kind of gives you an idea. This year it's giving you zero ideas. It means what they did a week ago means absolutely nothing. That's what I've learned about this season so far. Still pretty early. Do things kind of go back somewhat to normal here, starting this week? We'll see. Sometimes, that it's more of an NFL thing, about week 3, week 4, things kind of go back to normal. Like, okay, that makes sense, so we'll see if that happens in college football this year. But those are my picks. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. You guys are playing along in the Picks League. Join that through our Twitter. Follow our Twitter. That'd be huge there. Link down below, description, comments. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you're new to the channel, we got an insane amount of NFL coverage constantly here and always adding more, so join us for that. It'd be much appreciated. Also appreciate you guys for being here watching this video. It's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.